Dear viewers, welcome back to another insightful episode of Spark Igniting Minds, where we bring inspiring leaders, visionaries, and change makers to share their wisdom with us. Today, it is my absolute honor to introduce a woman who has been a trailblazer in the field of management education, Dr. Manasa Nagabhushanam. Dr. Manasa is currently the director of the Ramaiah Institute of Management, one of India's premier institutes. She holds an impeccable academic record, having completed her PhD in management and authored several research papers that have been published in renowned national and international journals. Under her leadership, the institute has flourished, receiving various recognitions for its academic excellence. A dynamic educator and an astute leader, Dr. Manasa has been instrumental in bridging the gap between academia and industry, ensuring that her students are future ready. Her contributions to the field of education have earned her numerous accolades, including awards for excellence in teaching and leadership in management. Beyond her role as an academic leader, Dr. Manasa is a multifaceted personality actively involved in various initiatives aimed at fostering holistic development in students. She regularly engages in leadership workshops, community outreach programs, and is an advocate for women's empowerment. Her mentorship extends beyond the classroom, where she guides young entrepreneurs and aspiring leaders through numerous platforms. Dr. Manasa is also known for her collaborations with industry experts and policymakers to create innovative learning frameworks that equip students with the skills needed to thrive in a rapidly evolving global landscape. Beyond her academic achievements, she is also an advocate for innovation in education, empowering young minds to think creatively and lead with integrity. It's a privilege to have her with us today to share her journey, her thoughts on leadership, and her vision for the future of education. Namaskara, Dr. Manasa. Today I am deeply honored and thrilled to welcome you to Spark Igniting Minds, our YouTube channel, Athava Belakina Kidi. You being in the forefront of education, leadership and innovation, you have been guiding one of the premier institutes of India. So your journey has been nothing but inspiration to the audience, and today we would like to explore your insights, your plans, your vision and your experiences, and also you have the passion for empowering the next generation.
Thank you, Sahana. Namaskara. And I'm really honored for being invited to Spark Igniting Minds. I've been seeing all the interviews that you have conducted, and with the type of stalwarts you have interviewed. I'm really honored that you have invited me to be a part of this interview. Thank you so much. I feel that this is God's grace. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mansa. To begin, education is an ever-evolving field, and with the rapid changes that we are seeing in the education, I think it is essential to nurture both knowledge and also creative thinking, adaptations, and also creativity. So you have been a stalwart in the educational field, and you have an illustrious tenure. How did all this start? How did your journey start into the field of education? Can you tell me the milestones of your journey, please?
No, for me, basically, education means a transformation.
Okay.
So something has to happen inside.
Correct.
Okay. So it is a process of discovering oneself.
Correct.
So this is the whole process. So whichever institution I have been working with, I work with people. So they may be the faculty or the students. So in the whole process, what I look is that each person tries to discover themselves, overcome all the challenges that they have inside them. They compete with themselves and they come out in a in a different form so that they would be better for themselves and better for the society. So if I have to talk about the milestones, see, when even before opting this teaching career, I was reading about Vivekananda, the complete works of Vivekananda. I am inspired by him. So I saw that Vivekananda, before he went to Chicago and he delivered the speech at Chicago, so he was the disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. And Ramakrishna sends all these disciples out and asks them that you will have to beg and you will have to get the alms and you will have to have the food. So during this time, Vivekananda faces a lot of difficulties in life with a bunch of boys with him who are roaming in the streets of Dakshineshwar. So he takes everyone and starts begging from house to house. So there was no food for him. He went through a lot of turmoil in the whole thing, and this, like the stature what we now see about Vivekananda, it's all because of the hardship that he went through. So it was an understanding for himself that he went through. Someday he got food, someday he did not get food, and then someday the rotis were very hard. He had to dip the roti in water and he had to eat, and all the difficulties he faces. So, and after that, so that kind of though he was spiritually inclined from the beginning and inspired by Sri Ramakrishna, so he becomes that kind of a individual who can live for others. So I always thought that he stands as an inspiration for me, and I wanted to do something for the society, something for the people, and the right age for this was the student age, the younger generation. So I wanted to bring that kind of a transformation in every individual so that he or she discovers himself. So coming to the other milestones, see what happened, every shift in my career, whatever has taken place, is associated by one of the inspirations. So first, when I was in SSMRB college, I read a book called as Who Moved My Cheese. So that tells you how to accept change. So how to adapt for change. So only if you move forward, then only you can move ahead, you can succeed, you can change the way you are. So this is what I wanted. So I have never stagnated in one place. I have been moving from one institution to another institution. So many people ask me this question. So why have you shifted from so many in so many institutions? So my answer is, see, the fear of change, the fear of change is more pulling you down than the situation itself. So then I thought I have to grow, and I quit SSMRB. So it was, when others ask, it was a very good platform for me. I was getting a very good salary, but still, why did you shift? But that is not the thing. See, you cannot keep on eating the cheese in the same place. So cheese keeps moving, and you will have to see what is that you want, what is your goal in life. As per the goal in life, you have to keep moving. So that's how I shifted from undergrad education to the postgraduate education and the management education also. So after that, I was inspired by a book called, once I was in PES, I was standing on the 6th floor of the building, and when I was watching, I used to see the birds fly. And then I read a book called as Jonathan Livingston Seagull. So when I read that book, this is the story of a seagull which is very different from the lot, who is just not bothered about the food, which is not bothered about just being with the flock. So it tries different acrobats in the sky, and it becomes a guru of many other seagulls. So that story inspired me, and I said that I'm not going to stay here with this particular institution. So then I started exploring whether I can build my own company.
Okay.
So that's how there was a shift again.
Oh,
so like this.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Okay.
I have been shifting from one career to another, but now I have ended up in a very good institution. Currently, whatever I have been doing, and my path has been very different. And now my path has been inspired by the autobiography of a yogi. So because I feel that the presence of Mahathir Babaji so has been inspiring me to live me on a daily basis. So on this front, all the shifts that have happened in my life is associated with a book. And I am not aspiring big careers or something like that. But the thing is, whatever I have been doing, I want to realize myself, and I basically have to understand and help others to grow it.
That was a wonderful, you have been inspired by 4 books. One is Swami Vivekananda, who said, "Give me 100 men that can change the world." And then you were inspired by a book called
Johnson's
Who Moved My Cheese. That is also a very inspirational book. And the third one, Jonathan Swift, Seagull, and actually it has risen from the ashes, and then I think like a phoenix who has risen from the ashes, and that seagull becomes a different seagull other than the frog in the film. That's also a wonderful book. And all the 4 books which you have been inspired. Very nice, Manasa, to see you taking inspiration from such kind of books and evolving yourself and growing to this level. That is an incredible journey, I can say. So in today's rapidly evolving world, we have immense challenges in the field of education. So how do you adapt? I mean, there are new technologies. We are adapting new technologies, and also students are very demanding, very different. They want their expectations are very different. So in this kind of scenario, what are the challenges that you really face for higher education, and how do you navigate these challenges in Ramaiah Books?
But in terms of the challenges that we face, I feel that mostly it is a mindset challenges.
Okay.
Because the skills are available, the changes that are happening in the world, we are witnessing them, the technological changes, maybe AI or whatever new things are coming along, we need to adapt to that. And in the curriculum, in the institution, in the curriculum, we have been bringing continuous changes impacting with the industry. See, the difference between some of the B schools and Ramaiah Institute of Management is that we are closely associated with the industry and have a very close watch with the industry. And we work with industry.
So you meet the standards of the industry.
We have, for every course that we are teaching, we have an industry collaborator. So a faculty and an industry collaborator work together to deliver the course.
Okay.
So then what happens, whatever in terms of knowledge and the practice in the industry that can easily be brought to the classroom. So that is one thing that we do. To face the challenge of if a faculty is not upgraded with whatever is required in the industry. So every faculty works with a collaborator.
Right.
So that bridges the gap between the industry requirement and the academia. That is one thing. And secondly, the mindset issue. So this mindset issue we have resolved to a very great extent that on a trust, if you trust everyone and if you work with everyone very closely.
See, that pervasiveness that you build around.
So if 40 people, I don't have enemies or I don't have friends in an institution. Being in that position, I don't feel that I have friends nor enemies. So I'm interested in the growth of every individual. All faculty. I am interested in the growth of 600 of my students. That is, every individual has to transform. That's my intention. That's how, on a daily basis, I have been working with the faculty, telling them that this is the thing that you have to look at. So we are working on outcome-based education. So outcome in the sense, what is that you expect of a student once he is going out of the institution? So what is that you are expecting? What is the kind of mindset he should have? What is the attitude that he has to exhibit? What are the skills that he has to have, he or she has to have? Or what is the knowledge that they have to gain? So this outcome approach, that changes, that shifts the whole thing. and then working closely with everyone. See, in every institution, when two people meet, there is a mismatch of the minds. So, but that I try to dissolve the mismatch of the mind by becoming closer to every individual. Okay, so all the faculty members. So that kind of a synergy we try to bring in, and then we see that we reach the outcomes of the institution.
The initiatives that you have brought into Ramaiah College, the mindset that you have understood about the faculty or with the students, and being an instrument in transforming the complete Ramaiah Institute of management, that is something very impressive, I can say. You are blending a kind of academic rigor with real world experiences, I can say. So this is a wonderful initiative that you have taken up, Manasa, and you also have been working with global collaboration also. So how do you expose your students to a dynamic world, to a global world?
So because the greater the exposure, the better for an individual, the learning is better.
Yes.
Because each culture brings in some good things.
Correct.
So if you talk about Japan, or if you talk about France or Germany or UK.
So have you done some cultural exchange programs, or what
we do student exchange programs, we do faculty exchange programs.
Okay.
And then we have internships that we are doing for global internships within the institution. So we have a lot of exchange programs that constantly happens. So our intention is, see, whenever a student enters the portals of education, so they'll always see the comfort zone.
Okay.
So what is the comfort zone? You want your people to be with you. You want to live with your people. So if you are from Maharashtra, I try and find out somebody who is from Maharashtra, speaks my language, lives like me and speaks like me and talks like me, everything. But the thing is, a diversity, bringing diversity in the institution, certainly it enhances the learning of people.
So which all countries have you?
We have collaborations with France, we have collaborations with UK institutions, we have collaborations with Malaysia, and then we have a Ramaiah Japan Center. Constantly we work with a number of Japanese companies.
Correct.
So earlier in my career, I had an opportunity to work with Japanese companies.
Right.
So they have a very distinct style. They may not be in a position to speak English fluently, but at the same time, the decision-making style of Japanese, is very slow, but it is very deep-rooted. So that cultural element has to be brought here. And many of our students today, we have something called as a 2x2 internship, where our student and one Japanese student together do the work in a company.
Okay.
So they jointly present the report. So this kind of a cultural blending we are trying to bring to international collaborations.
That is wonderful, getting into so many countries, learning their managing practices, even their decision making skills, maybe their work ethics. All these really bring a kind of transformation into the management industry, I can say. You have been working a lot on that, and this has been very inspiring, and also I can say the students really get an exposure. And they can really do well when they come to practice managing practices in India. So, and you have been a women leader all through. And being a woman, you bring a lot of perspectives onto the table, different unique perspectives. As a woman, we always bring unique perspectives. And also, we also bring strength. Is it not so? But at the same time, we have got lot of challenges. Being a woman, there are a lot of challenges which comes in our way. So, as a woman leader, how do you? What is your advice to the other women leaders, and how do you want them to follow your kind of leadership style?
Okay, so when we say women leader, this is the gender part of it that we are speaking. But I feel that in every individual, there are two energies.
Right.
So one is the feminine energy and one is the masculine energy.
So even and yang.
Yeah. Even if men, work in this kind of a style, a relationship style, and that is also feminine kind of a leadership, right? But in women, that is more, right? The feminine kind, it comes naturally. The feminine energy is natural for a woman. So generally, the process is women work in a relationship style. They don't work in a control style. So we give more importance to people. We give more importance to understanding. We give more importance to the problems and try and solve the problems then and there. So there is a difference between a task.
Women generally is kind, compassionate, and then she can bring everybody closer.
Yeah. They're people oriented basically.
Yes.
So task is also there, but now the challenge for us is that we have to blend task as well as the relationship. So always, like Buddha said, you have to take the mid path, right? So you cannot go extreme onto the task. You cannot go extreme onto the onto relationships. So you will have to blend both these, and then you will have to take the.
And you have to maintain a balance between them.
So this, if you do, I think even women could be successful. The
Okay.
other thing that I feel that for women to grow, see, there is an invisible framework that women put for themselves. So they don't want to operate out of that. Okay, so why all women, though they have the capability, are not becoming leaders? And then if you look at the convocation, all the gold medals are being bagged by girls. But at the same time, if you see the workforce, so how many women are on the boards of companies? So how many are in top positions? You see that minuscule. So what happens over a period of time? What is the gap between that convocation where you took a gold medal and what happened to them over a period of time? So that is the family and many other things come. But in this process,
women always gives priority to the family, and she doesn't want to go out of the family.
Correct.
And this must have been one a challenge or a constraint. Yes.
So they put themselves in a frame, invisible frame. I can do this, I cannot do this. I cannot go out after 6 o'clock. I cannot hold a night shift job because I have to take care of my child. So this kind of an invisible frame is the put. It is not that the society is pushing them. It is pushed by themselves. So they have to come out of this frame.
They themselves put a
boundary around them. So that boundary has to be removed. So my whole process, when I speak to women and then I speak to teachers and then I address them, I always tell them that you have to cross the boundary. You have to cross the boundary. Yes. You have a better way because you are a very good communicator.
Yes.
Women are very good at communication. They communicate better. But only thing is, if they are not affected by their emotions. Their emotions like fear, their emotion like helplessness, and then feeling depressed. So if they come out of these emotions, on a regular basis, I think that women can really achieve wonders. So though we say that there is a glass ceiling and all that, but you can always break the glass ceiling. It is possible.
Okay. Oh, that's a wonderful kind of leadership style that you have adopted, and also you have been advocating to other women leaders also. It's wonderful because they have to come out of their boundaries, only then they can shine. And if they themselves keep themselves covered, or I don't think this is happening in the future generations. They have dissolved all these boundaries, the gender.
No, but there is another danger also. See, we have to work in harmony, right? So that harmony should not be lost. See, for example, as a woman, I have children and I have to take care and all that role is also there, right? But we have to blend both of these. See, when we talk about work-life balance, right? So probably that was also one of the questions. So when we talk about work-life balance, so I always feel that balance means, if you use that word balance, so it means that it is a very intricate kind of a this side or that side kind of a thing. See, we have to blend both of these. there should be harmony.
Actually,
So
men and women, we can say they are the two horses of the chariot. And once they have to pull the chariot together. Yes, there is nothing called as balance or anything like that.
Correct.
They have to pull it together, isn't it, sir? So, coming to the importance of innovation in education, we are living in an age of innovation, and it has undoubtedly transformed how we approach education too. So, how do you see innovation playing a role in higher education, especially in curriculum, pedagogy, and overall student experience?
Yeah. So this innovation comes to once again outcomes actually. See, we are clear with the outcomes. What are the outcomes that we need to achieve? Then if you work backwards, like there is something which is stagnating. See, for example, frontal method of teaching.
Correct.
So a faculty stands on the dais, and then others are sitting in the classroom. And then you are just using a PPT, lecturing, and then trying to address the students. So what happens, are you really worried like the learning is happening? See, when you are bothered about the outcomes, you are also bothered about whether learning is happening. See, I always say that it is not a
Learning
teaching
is an
process.
outcome.
It's not only the teaching process, it is a teaching and learning process. So learning has 50% and teaching is also 50%. So both the teacher and learner have to co-create the whole process, and the learning has to happen. So instead of that, you pushing some content on the students, and then students, they understood, they did not understand, or they are able to functionalize what you told. There may not be a question to functionalize what you have explained. So in such a situation, what happens? Then there is a need for innovation. So innovation comes when there is a problem, right? So all these even startups, whatever you say, there is a problem. To solve the problem, how differently you can solve the problem. If you go in the normal way, that problem is not
So
getting
what is
solved.
your solution when there is only a presentation happening in the student?
But we work on a co-creation model. So we have changed the way classrooms are organized. So earlier it was all vertical style of classrooms.
Now
So
it is not a classroom setup.
It's a classroom in the sense it's more discussion oriented. So we have changed the furniture and we have the distances.
Even the sitting style.
Everything has been changed. And then research-based learning is being implemented. So it's more of like student. It is
Like teacher is only facilitated.
That's how we are working on that. And everywhere, there is scope for innovation, and we encourage, and faculty, we ask them every time, what is the new thing? So how are you implementing it? How did you do it?
Okay.
So this kind of talking to the faculty about these things, brings more, and the students are very capable and they bring a lot of energy into the classrooms. So their energy also brings in innovation in the class.
That is wonderful, being a student-centered teacher, student being at the center, and everything is for them, and bringing innovations in those kind and bringing initiatives. That is a wonderful job.
So one more which I wanted to say, we adopt something called as flipped classroom method. Okay, in the flipped classroom method, all the teaching does not happen in the classroom. See, there is pre-class and post-class work. So one class is not only that 1 hour of delivery and close it. So there is something pre-class work where the faculty engages with the student. In the class, the students work on it, and post the class, there is once again engagement with the faculty and the student. So this kind of a three-level approach of flipped classroom methodology has really changed the way people think and work.
Okay, that's also wonderful. And have you gone anything deeper into experiential learning also? Do you give them a chance to actually get into the, yes, has it been done?
Yeah, we have multiple ways of doing, bringing this kind of experiential learning. So we are not, as I said, classroom structures have been changed, and then faculty are open. If they want to take a class in a library, or if they want to take in a class in an open platform, that is also fine. And then they go to the industry.
Okay, they are exposed to the industry.
Exposed to the industry, and then in the second trimester of their journey, they are all working with the startups.
Oh.
So we put everyone to work with the startups.
Right.
So not with the corporates. Corporates comes after the third trimester. So they get into a summer internship program after the third trimester. Before that, I want them to be very agile.
Right.
So only in a startup culture, you will have that agility, and then you'll have an opportunity to think and give a solution to the problem. So we have multiple interventions that we are doing, which makes it very, very like experiential kind of a process.
That's wonderful. Mentorship can often make all the differences in the students. And you have been, I know that mentoring young talent is something you are very passionate about. Could you share your thoughts on the importance of mentorship and how it has shaped the leaders you have worked with over the years?
The mentorship is a very critical element actually. See, for everyone there should be a role. So similarly, I have been mentored by many, and I always look to them. Like I would like to quote Dr. M.K. Sridhar, who has been my guru all through years, right? From my pre-university to my PhD, and even till date, I have been working with him very closely. So his mentorship has shaped me. So the thought process and how I work, and with him, I have also met other leaders who have really influenced. And my dad, as you know, he has also mentored in the whole process. So every time, whatever incident that used to happen, I used to narrate to him, and he used to say that how you have to handle this situation. So this kind of a mentorship, is very, very critical. And that's how in the institution also we have a very solid mentorship program. So all faculty are mentors to the students, and this we have institutionalized, but at the same time we have also kept some element of flexibility. Because what happens is when you bring structures, structures can kill the process. So in such a situation, the structure should be such that you have a structure, but at the same time it brings some kind of a flexibility to both of them. So that kind of a mentorship has been implemented and very well done. And apart from this, we have something called as Saka Samvad in the institution. So where we have psychological counselors. So some of the issues that we are not able to handle it during the mentorship process. So we'll always be referred to our counselors who can handle this in a very personal. So this is the whole process that we have done.
You always said that every person should have a mentor or guru or somebody like that. When you spoke about M.K. Sridhar, all that came to my mind was you have been working with him from so many years that I have been listening from you also about him. I don't know the personality that he has really, influenced you, and you have worked with him for NEP. Okay, so what are your views about NEP, and how did you really involve, and what was your contribution towards NEP?
No, but I was not a part of the team or anything when the National Education Policy was framed.
Yes.
But I took up the dissemination. So after this, but we had some kind of a consultative kind of exercises with the people who are working with the National Education Policy earlier, because at that point in time I was in Center for Education and Social Studies, for which Dr. M.K. Sridhar was the president. So I had few interactions. So when you talk about National Education Policy is something which is required for today's world. Okay, so it considers the past, future and present. So it is a blend of all these.
It's a curriculum blending all the past, present and future.
It's not only curriculum, it's about everything in education. What all changes have to be brought about in education has come in the National Education Policy. So for an individual, what we are thinking, that kind of real transformation happening. So from the moth to the butterfly. So that process, if it has to happen, how this whole education ecosystem has to support this. So that has been spoken in the national education policy. So I think whether some governments say that we implement, we don't implement, or whatever it is, I feel that at the grassroots, as faculty members, as educational leaders, so we have to start working on the principles of national education policy. So it's nothing which is there that should not be done. So only we have to start doing it at my individual level, if I can work. For example, we talk about multidisciplinary education. So when in multidisciplinary education, see, in today's world, you cannot solve the problems without a multidisciplinary approach. So if you are deep into one particular discipline, that perfection is also required, but at the same time you need the thinking, a perspective is required.
That holistic approach is always required.
So, for national education policy talks about categorically about this kind of a holistic approach that needs to be followed.
Right.
Or breaking those barriers.
Yes.
So all these years there were silos, there were barriers, there were difficulties. So how to break this and then make it more open education so that you are focusing on the learner. So it's highly learner centric.
Oh, that's wonderful. Manasa, you have worn many hats effortlessly. You are into multiple activities, I can say. You had been the president's nominee for the Central University of Gulbarga. You were the Senate member of Bangalore University, who was appointed by the Chief Minister. You were the chairperson of Diversity, Equity and Inclusion of ASSOCHAM. And also you were the MC member of Bangalore Chamber of Industries and Commerce. And how have you managed all these activities? And you were also the board member of so many committees. And how can you manage all this? And can you explain the role of all these, whatever you have done so far?
See, all these positions and other things have come. So I am the same person and divide my time into different activities.
Okay.
So I feel that being in present is one very important thing.
Right.
So if you have to handle today, there is a meeting on, for example, Right to Education Act. So you just take into that role and immediately, only if you are in present it can happen. If you are thinking that I have so many roles to play and I have so many things to do, and if you start thinking, the thinking itself kills you.
Okay.
So I don't think anything. At that point in time, I go to that meeting and I'll be in present, I'll give 100%. Mindfully, I'll participate in whatever is going on. Immediately out of that, I forget what has happened and then I just move on to the next one. So this kind of approach, being in present has helped me quite a lot to handle multiple things. Even if it be a research. See, in this one, Ikigai, that is finding your purpose. So they talk about being in the flow. So I just want to be in the flow and perform. So if I am in the flow, I don't think that I'm doing so many things. Today I'm writing a research article and guiding somebody for PhD and then giving a talk on something else. So all these, will come effortlessly because that I try to be in the present. So that's one important message that I wanted to give for youngsters also, that if you are in present, that will guide action. There's no need to worry about anything. So till I get into the meeting hall, I will not be worrying. So maybe I'll have a mental preparation of 5 minutes or 10 minutes and that's it. And I'll be getting into the meeting.
So what were your roles in all this? What role did you play? For example, in the as a president's nominee in Central University of Gulbarga?
No, it was an executive position actually, executive member of the Central University. So it was about all taking decisions like how the university administration and the governance of the university. So there will be various agendas which are being placed, and in these agendas, so we have to give the perspective at that point in time.
Right.
So some preparation in terms of going through the agenda content, and then what is the right way in which certain problems will have to be sorted out. So that
and you also have been in literary activities. You have been a freelancer. Your entry of your into the Guinness Book of World Records. You wrote, you translated an engaged story into Kannada. Alice in Wonderland, and you even got into the Guinness Book of World Records, and so many other achievements. There are, and if I keep on saying, there are endless achievements that you have been going through since your childhood, and you also contribute to the Padabandha of Prajavani after my father has expired. You have taken over that, and the way you have been doing is incredible. So how, what do you feel about all your achievements and accomplishments? Yes.
No, but I love to write. That is one thing, that's a way of expression.
Correct.
So what I do is every night, for some time I'll be a writer yourself, that during night and when you are alone, so you would like to give time to yourself, and my pastime is writing.
Okay.
That's how I write.
Yeah.
And then all other things, as I said, it is being in the present and trying to do it. Sometimes there were days where I found, because when I started this Padaganda, it was a bit difficult for me, because that standards was very different, and then I could not reach those standards. But I started asking him to bless me each time I did. So you have to come and do it, because I am not capable of doing it.
Right.
And you have to come and do it.
Yeah.
So that's how I started praying, and things turned out to be okay. So even now I make some mistakes, but I give 100%. I don't think about anything else when I'm doing the crossword puzzle. I only focus on crossword puzzle and enjoy the process. See, enjoying every process that you are doing is very, very important.
That brings perfection. That's what I can say. Yeah.
That's how I do it, and I love to write. That's my expression is writing, basically.
And you also have guided several research projects, and you have published papers both nationally and internationally. What are your thoughts about research?
No, research is very important actually for every academician. If you have to teach, you should research. See, research is nothing but knowing more and more about less and less.
Knowing more and more about
less and less.
Oh,
so you have micro problem that you are dissecting from multiple angles.
Oh,
so that is research actually.
Okay.
So you are trying to understand a small problem from multiple perspectives and try to give a solution to that problem through research.
Right.
So if you are not entering this process, your mind, will not know how to break down complex things into a simpler substances or in a simplified manner. So, for a teacher, it's very important that these complexities have to be broken, because like how you peel the onion or something like that, the lettuce, how you peel. So like that, you have to peel out everything so that you get the substance.
You get the core.
So similarly, research is that process, and you can teach better only if you have undergone this kind of rigor and this process. So that's why research becomes very, very important.
Right.
And for a real solution to any problem, the approach should be research.
Okay.
So that's how I've been into research, and then I got an opportunity to guide scholars, because my PhD, it was a very rigorous one.
And you were the best in India.
Yeah,
you were adjudged the best PhD thesis award
so,
also.
it was because I put full 100% into that whole process and trying to understand. I simplified most of the processes in research. So that's how I was able to do it, and now I use the same approach to all my research papers. Whatever I do, I can just do it like this, like giving solutions as to how to approach a research problem.
Yes. Yeah. And without family support, it is very difficult to accomplish so many things. Their coordination, cooperation have been there, in your multiple projects. So what is the role of your family, and how can you even, in your contribution to the society?
So I have to, when we say family, before marriage, I can remember how Amma supported in my studies. And then I was studying for almost 13 hours a day. And then she was supplying coffee, tea, water, everything to the table when I was sitting and studying. So she was always saying, I had some goal, and she supported me in that goal. So that I remember even now. And then how Appa supported the whole process and encouraged, you do whatever you want, that kind of a thing he had. So never our parents forced any one of us that you have to do this, you have to go in this direction. So they allowed us to discover our own selves. So that was one support, the support that we got in our initial days. And later when I got married, so it was the same thing got transferred to our house. Like my father-in-law was also like that. I was very close to him. He encouraged me. You do it. You do PhD. I will support you. And for everything, when I said that I'm going to start a company, my father-in-law gave me the initial capital.
He stood behind you.
Yes. So that was he supported. And Sudarshan always believes that my husband. He believes that. We are 50-50, no 1% less, no 1% more. So he says,
and he is also an achiever.
So he says that if you love someone, you will have to be interested in the spiritual growth of the other person.
Right.
So that's how he supports in the whole thing. And then even my children are in the same path of achieving, and hence their support has also been solicited. So the whole thing, I don't know, everything is falling in place like the way it has to. And then I'm getting a complete support from everyone, from siblings, from sisters, brothers, everyone supports me in the same manner. So I think that was, I'm blessed enough.
Wonderful, Manasa. You have been blessed by your parents, by your father-in-law, and you have a lovely family. And I'm greatly pleased by all this. And it has been an absolute privilege talking to you and knowing about your insights, your education, your leadership, and the complete landscape of management. It has been a truly enriching experience. I want to thank you on behalf of Spark Igniting Minds for sharing your journey, your wisdom, and your vision with us. You have reminded us of the importance of continuous learning, empathy, and also adaptability. In a world where there is a lot of chaos, I can say. So to wrap up, what is your last message to the audience, especially to the young, talented people who are looking up at you for guidance and inspiration?
Thank you, Sahana. Thank you. You are first of all an inspiration, and we are walking in your path. And then for others, what I have to say is you have great opportunities in life. We have to be happy. Being in a happy state of mind, it's solve most of our problems. So we have to keep all our negativities out of our aside, and then we need to be happy.
Yeah.
When we are in happy means we are in the present state, right? The present moment. So if you are in the present moment, everything will fall in place. All your answers, your questions will be answered. So to do this, if you want to be in a happy state of mind, I think that doing meditation and then pranayama, yoga, because
and you have been a yoga specialist also, I forgot to tell this. And you want to do a PhD in yoga also.
Yeah, that's my next dream actually.
Yeah.
Because I've been practicing yoga for a very long period of time.
Correct.
Probably all those problems, will get sorted out.
And there will be no negative energy.
So pranayama really helps you in being with your own self, being connected and getting like what you are. So being authentic, being natural. So yoga helps you in doing that. I think practicing these things, will give us a very happy life. I wish that everyone on this earth, are happy, peaceful, as then joyous,
accomplishing and going forward.
So that is what I wish.
Okay. Thank you, Manasa, for those inspiring words. Thank you so much for being with us at Spark Igniting Minds.
Thank you so much. Bye.